No, Shedeur Sanders, I don't think this kid definitely should have dropped to the 5th round. No. And I hate when you have unnamed sources. If you're going to say something that bad to disparage a kid, put your name on it, first of all. And, you said about a lineman draft. If there's a good quarterback, people want a good quarterback. You watch so many quarterbacks who have no amount of production like he had. And it's about numbers when it comes to quarterbacks. And I spent time with Tom Brady this past weekend, and we watched the draft. And as Tom said, he's an example. Doesn't matter where you pick.
That's right.
Right.
And economically,
he's got plenty of motivation.
Economically, this may have hurt Shedeur Sanders, but opportunity-wise, it didn't, because he's on the team where I think he has a good shot.
In the aftermath of a dramatic legal claim that threatens to shake the very core of professional football, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has finally addressed the situation publicly. A reported $100 million lawsuit from the Sanders family, alleging that the league and several team owners conspired to damage Shedeur Sanders' draft value, has rapidly become the most explosive story in sport. The accusations suggest defamation, deliberate exclusion, and an organized attempt to undermine his professional future, driven not by on-field performance but by politics, influence, and clashes of personality. With criticism intensifying, Goodell faced the media at an urgent press briefing held at NFL headquarters in New York, offering remarks that may have tempered some concerns while simultaneously sparking even more uncertainty.
But if you're the National Football League, okay, clearly it's not about talent anymore. It's about something else. And I'm going to tell you, I spent a large amount of the last 24 hours thinking about nothing more than I was thinking about collusion. Because how in the hell does 32 teams in the National Football League pass on a quarterback that was universally recognized one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the country entering this draft, and 32 teams passed on him, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 different times they passed on him? How the hell does that happen? 4 rounds. It doesn't happen to a quarterback. We've never seen anything like this before. We've seen guys drop because of injuries. We've seen guys drop because of off-field issues, but we've never seen a quarterback projected to be a top 20 pick, universally recognized one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft, projected to be a first rounder, in all likelihood a safe bet of a late first rounder, and drop literally to the 5th round. We haven't seen anything like that. Primetime Deion Sanders' natural bravado, coupled with that of his son. They say that the whole interview process wasn't that impressive when he showed up at the NFL scouting combine and refused to work out. That hurt him. The interview process while he was there hurt him, etc., etc. You know what, y'all? I get it. It makes perfect damn sense if he's drafted in the 2nd round. It's the fact that he fell to 5th that's alarming.
Reporters packed the room as cameras from every major network captured the moment, following 3 intense days in which the NFL had been overwhelmed by speculation, leaks, and claims from insiders, and throughout those days, the league had remained silent. On the 4th day, however, Roger Goodell entered the briefing looking composed, carrying a leather binder and delivering a carefully crafted statement. He emphasized that the National Football League treats all legal matters with seriousness and acknowledged the concerns raised by the Sanders family regarding the 2025 draft process. There was no outright denial or dismissal. Instead, his remarks carried a measured, legally cautious tone. He stated that the league wanted to be absolutely clear that it had not taken part in any form of collusion, conspiracy, or coordinated effort to affect the draft value of any player, including Shedeur Sanders.
What do you make of Shedeur Sanders' slide in the draft?
I thought, I didn't think it was a bit of a shock. I thought that the NFL spoke, the draft spoke, said, hey, we don't have a first-round grade on this kid, and that's okay. I know a lot of people thought that he was the first 3 picks and so forth. He's a phenomenal talent. But when you do your due diligence and you vet these kids out and you have the combine, you have the personal interview, some things come out that are consistent. And was consistent was that they felt like he wasn't a starting quarterback right now. So that's all right. I think this will be Shedeur's finest hour. He has an opportunity now to go and compete for the job. and show people that, hey, you missed out on a big opportunity. You know, I tell kids all the time, it's not how you start in the NFL, it's how you finish. So he got his foot in the door, he got drafted, he's got an opportunity to compete. Now it's up to him to show and prove, and to prove people wrong on how they missed out on him. So
Goodell then moved point by point through the issues believed to be central to the Sanders family's legal claim, noting that while Shedeur Sanders is undeniably a high-profile prospect frequently discussed across league circles, his draft position is ultimately shaped by the independent evaluations of all 32 teams, each operating with its own scouting staff, priorities, and philosophies. He stressed that there is no system, secret committee, or hidden framework within the NFL that instructs clubs on where a player should be drafted or whether they should be selected at all.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, you know, for no reason. All this is of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we're on the bigger and better things. Tomorrow's the day, we're gonna be happy regardless. Legendary.
Addressing criticism that Shedeur Sanders was judged harshly for his public profile or for bringing the Sanders brand into team environments, Goodell firmly rejected the idea, explaining that personality, leadership, composure, and presence are part of every player's assessment, but claiming that a family name or media visibility costs someone tens of millions is speculation rather than proven fact. He also directly refuted the most serious allegation, that NFL owners privately encouraged teams to avoid selecting Sanders early, stating that internal reviews and conversations with executives revealed no credible indication of any coordinated attempt to influence his draft position. Though calm in delivery, Goodell's remarks carried a clear message: the league would not be pressured by public narratives nor allow misinformation to erode its reputation. He expressed respect for the Sanders family, including Coach Deion Sanders' long-standing impact on the sport, while emphasizing that the NFL would defend its integrity in any legal or public setting, a subtle warning to the Sanders legal camp not to overreach. Shifting the focus back to league operations, he reiterated that draft decisions are not driven by headlines but by fit, potential, preparation, and professionalism, adding that every player, regardless of fame, must earn their selection through performance. In a measured but pointed reference, he noted that skipping opportunities such as the NFL Combine and Senior Bowl, both criticized by analysts, can influence evaluations, as teams rely heavily on what they observe, hear, and believe will contribute to winning. Without naming Shedeur directly, Goodell's underlying message was unmistakable: decisions carry consequences, and media projections of a first-round status do not always align with how teams judge prospects behind closed doors.
So a lot of times when you go to these combine meetings, teams give you things to challenge you. Teams will have a player's worst plays ready for him, and they'll show him his worst plays and say, hey, why don't you explain them? And Shedeur apparently didn't take to it well. And at one point, one of the few teams that actually was interested in him said, well, what do you make of this really bad play? And Shedeur said, you know, maybe I'm not the guy for you. That's not the answer. Another moment. What they do during the film and the combine and the meetings is teams will install mistakes intentionally planted in the install, and they want you to catch them. Shedeur didn't, and when a coach called him out, once again, it didn't sit well. It's like, bro, there's not many teams needing quarterbacks, especially since Pittsburgh appears to have a deal with Aaron Rodgers and Tennessee's getting Cam Ward. So you're down to the Giants, who were not interested at all, and Cleveland, who traded out of that 2 spot because clearly they were looking for next year's class like the Rams are.
In the aftermath of a dramatic legal claim that threatens to shake the very core of professional football, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has finally addressed the situation publicly. A reported $100 million lawsuit from the Sanders family, alleging that the league and several team owners conspired to damage Shedeur Sanders' draft value, has rapidly become the most explosive story in sport. The accusations suggest defamation, deliberate exclusion, and an organized attempt to undermine his professional future, driven not by on-field performance but by politics, influence, and clashes of personality. With criticism intensifying, Goodell faced the media at an urgent press briefing held at NFL headquarters in New York, offering remarks that may have tempered some concerns while simultaneously sparking even more uncertainty. Closing his remarks with a message to fans, many of whom have expressed demands for answers and transparency on social media, he asked for patience and trust in the process, highlighting the league's commitment to competitive balance, opportunity, and fairness, and promising swift action if credible evidence of wrongdoing arises, while urging calm and allowing the field to determine outcomes. As the conference ended, reactions were mixed, with some praising Goodell's composure and others feeling he sidestepped questions, but one certainty remained: the issue is far from resolved. While the Sanders family has not yet officially filed the anticipated lawsuit, sources indicate it is being finalized with plans to bring it to court before the 2025 season begins, presenting the potential for a legal battle that could involve testimony from NFL executives, scouts, agents, and players, unseal private communications, challenge team reputations, and potentially usher in greater transparency or reform in the draft process. For now, however, Goodell remains resolute, standing by the NFL's procedures, personnel, and principles, confident and prepared for whatever developments may come.